Welcome all, and thank you for joining TÜV SÜD's complimentary webinar titled Safe Quality Food, the Importance of Certification and How to Achieve It. Presented today by Candice Carmichael, SQF Program Manager at TÜV SÜD. Before we begin the presentation today, we have a few housekeeping rules. If you or someone you know is having connection issues, please connect through LAN instead of Wi-Fi if available for better connectivity. Also, please view this webinar through the recommended browsers of Chrome, Edge, or Firefox if available. All participants are muted to avoid any background noise during the webinar. And there may be a time lag between slides. If you're having a problem, please mention it in the chat, which is right underneath the video, my video here on the left side, the first button on the left. Also, for question and answers session of today, portion of today's session, please submit your questions online via the Q&A tab, which is again under the video on the left side of your screen, where it has the question mark. At the end of today's session, we will have a short survey. Please stay on for a few minutes to answer these short survey questions. We truly appreciate your comments and feedback. Now let me introduce TÜV SÜD as well as our session today. TÜV SÜD is world-renowned for providing international testing, assessment, training, and certification services for over 160 years with offices in over 1,000 locations in 50 countries and represented by over 28,000 employees. As a global leader in management systems certification, validation, and verification audits, TÜV SÜD's extensive industry experience and expertise elevate the management systems of our clients through our unique approach towards audits. TÜV SÜD assists companies of all sizes with a tailored audit approach specific to your company's size and industry. We can support you with various ISO-based management system standards, sustainability, cybersecurity, as well as customized audit solutions, and of course, assisting your company with safe quality food certification. If you're looking for a trusted, globally recognized provider that is responsive to assist with your company's transformation and certification needs, TÜV SÜD is your partner. And a little bit more today about our session. Safe quality food certification is important for your food production facility. Whether you're exploring SQF certification for the first time or looking to improve your food safety management system, today's session is for you. During today's session, Candice Carmichael, our featured speaker today, will share information on how to get SQF certified, how to register on the SQF Assessment Database, determining the scope of the certification to yield the best results, conducting an optional pre-assessment, how to select a certification body and schedule an audit, examples of companies that have obtained SQF certification and how it has helped these companies to increase customer satisfaction, sales, and market share. And now I'd like to turn it over to our featured speaker, Candice Carmichael. Thank you, Candice, for presenting today.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everyone, for joining our live webinar today. I am excited to have you all here today. My name is Candice Carmichael. I have about 18 years experience in food safety and quality. I've worked in different roles, such as a food safety quality manager for a food manufacturer. I've done food safety consulting. I've done SQF audits, and I've worked with different food safety schemes. And I've also done retail audits, such as restaurants and grocery stores. And why is SQF important for your food manufacturer? Why do we use it? SQF helps build a strong food safety management system. 48 million cases of foodborne illnesses happen annually. SQF helps prevent that from happening. It helps identify any physical, chemical, or biological hazards that could be introduced into your facility. We had 2 big recalls this year. We had an E. coli outbreak with onions, and we had a deli meat manufacturer that had a listeria outbreak. And people got sick and died. So food safety culture is extremely important for your food manufacturer, and SQF enforces that, and implementing that strong food safety management system will help prevent these recalls from happening or any withdrawals from your food manufacturer. So why is SQF important for your food production facility? Today we're going to talk SQF and how to register, various definitions and approaches to food safety management systems, and one of the key components of food safety management systems. How food safety management systems are integrated into SQF, and the benefits of a food safety management system. So SQF, it is accredited through a third-party certification under ISO 17065. So when the lead auditors come into your facility, they're going to want to make sure any labs you use are accredited under the ISO 17065. They're going to want to look at that certificate and make sure it's valid for a year. Make sure it's not expired. So ISO 17065 is important to have as far as your labs go. It is a division of the Food Marketing Institute, FMI. FMI has a health and nutrition section and also has a food safety section with SQF. It is designed around the GFSI industry scopes, so you have farming, processing, and distribution. There's 35 different food sector categories, so we have bakeries, dairies, food processing aids, slaughtering, farming. So SQF covers anything from farm to fork. The auditors are credentialed by the food sector category, so each auditor has to have at least 2 years experience with that food manufacturer or 2 years experience auditing under that food sector category. And here at TÜV SÜD, we have highly experienced auditors who've been with the company for a long time and have a lot of industry experience in food safety. The SQF code is developed by different stakeholders such as retailer concerns, technical advisory council reviews, technical working groups, certification body feedback, supplier input, and public comments. So FMI, the International Food Retail Association, involves a lot of big retailers. So we have H-E-B down here in San Antonio. They're headquartered here. We have Albertsons, Walmart, Aldi, Amazon, Whole Foods, etc., Trader Joe's. All these retailers are going to require your site to be GFSI certified. And SQF is the most popular scheme here in the United States. The reason why they want you to be GFSI certified is they want to make sure their brand is protected by having strong food safety management systems in place. Do we have a strong food safety culture in place? Do the employees feel empowered? If they see an issue in the site, are they going to go to their managers and say, hey, we have an issue here? So all of our retailers, our big retailers in the United States, they are going to want you to be GFSI certified. So SQF now uses a database called CMX. You can always use the QR code here with your phone, and it takes you directly to the database, and it tells you how to register annually. Now, SQF is requiring all the sites to register before their audit. If they don't register on CMX, there is a chance you can lose your certification. So you definitely want to make sure as a facility that you register annually before your audit. So SQF practitioner. What do the SQF practitioners do for your food manufacturer? You definitely want to make sure you have a primary and a backup practitioner. Usually the primary is the quality manager, the FSQA manager, or you have an FSQA coordinator, and then they have a backup in case that person's on vacation, sick, or whatever happens. That SQF practitioner is going to run the food safety program of that facility. They're going to want to make sure everything's been implemented. They're doing their monthly management reviews, their annual reviews, and that GMPs are being followed on site, on the floor. So definitely want to make sure you have a primary and a backup. When I do audits of facilities, there's a lot of times they don't have a backup practitioner who is HACCP certified. And that's an easy minor for your audit. So definitely primary and a backup. And also we have trainings that we provide at TÜV SÜD for implementing SQF systems that we provide at TÜV SÜD. So definitely want to make sure you document and implement the SQF code. To achieve SQF certification, the supplier must document and implement the relevant modules. You have 2 and 11, which is the most popular modules with SQF. So module 2 is all your elements, food defense, food plan, crisis management. And then module 11 is like your GMPs, your water program, waste disposal, etc. So you want to make sure you say what you do. You want to tell the auditor, this is what we do. And then you want to show the auditor what you do as objective evidence, because the auditor is going to want to see what you do as far as management reviews, food defense, food fraud, crisis management. Your food safety plan is the key part of of implementing your food safety program. So exactly, you want to do what you say. And again, the auditor is going to make sure you are doing what you're saying. And selecting a certification body, TÜV SÜD. We've been with SQF since 2005 when it first came out here in the United States. Certification bodies are licensed by SQFI to conduct SQF audits and issue the SQF certificate. Here's the QR code to fill out your information with TÜV SÜD, and we can get account executives to get in contact with you right away. We have more than 24 years experience in food and feed management system certification and was one of the first certification bodies acting in this field. Conducting a pre-assessment. So why are pre-assessment audits important for your food manufacturer? I've done a lot of pre-assessment audits for food manufacturers that are new to SQF, and it's helped them immensely. Their first audit, they got very high scores because of the pre-assessment audit. It helps identify any gaps in your systems. Did you forget to do your annual review of the whole management system? Did you forget to review your food safety plan with the team? Did you forget to do a test of the recall program? So a pre-assessment audit we do offer at TÜV SÜD of Americas, and it's a very good tool to use to identify any gaps in the SQF system. And again, our SQF auditors are very highly qualified. They have a lot of experience. And again, I've done a lot of these, and it's really helped the sites be successful in their audit. So the initial certification process. So the CB selects the most appropriate qualified SQF auditor. So again, if that auditor has experience in bakeries or dairies, they're going to be the ones doing the audit for your facility. And the auditor there's there to help you improve. They're not there to make you look bad or talk down on your facility. What we're doing is we're trying to help you improve your process as far as food safety goes. The SQF auditor must be registered for the same food sector categories as the supplier. So we are registered in the SQF database. It shows what codes we're qualified under. And if we're not expired auditors, we've been keeping up with our trainings and so forth. So we are on the SQF database if you ever need to look up an auditor. The CB shall ensure no SQF auditor conducts audits of the same supplier more than 3 consecutive certification cycles. So we can only audit your facility 3 times in a row, and then we have to skip and have another auditor do it. The reason for that is we don't want to make sure the site gets too comfortable with the auditor. We want to make sure we switch it around because everybody sees things differently. One auditor might be focused on one thing, and the other auditor might be focused on another thing. So it's definitely good to switch it up every 3 years. So identifying the scope of the certification. What do you do at your facility? Do you bag? Do you package? Do you cut, slice, dice meat products and make it into a sausage or a burger? So for example, I have here the mixing, baking, and packaging of bread into plastic containers. That is the scope of your certification. So when you come to the CB, you want to make sure you tell them exactly what you do. So we're doing the right audit for your facility. SQF certification is both site and product specific. The entire site, including all premises, support buildings, the silos, tanks, loading and unloading bays, and external grounds must be included in the scope of the certification. And so the SQF audit has 2 stages. You have the desk audit and the facility inspection. So you do have to be on the floor as an auditor. Us auditors, we have to be on the floor 50% of the time. And then we're also going to do our document review. I've been in a lot of situations where I've witnessed auditors and they're not out on the floor. They spend most of their time looking at documentation in the office, so forth. Being on the floor, that's where you're going to see everything. You're going to interview the employees. You're going to ask them questions. What allergens are you handling? What are your GMP requirements? What are you going to do if you see any cross-contamination issue with allergens? You got to observe GMPs. You got to look at records. So the facility inspection is very, very important that you're out there 50 to 60% of the time. I spend a lot of time on the floor because I want to see what's going on. The SQF audit consists of 2 stages. Again, like I said, you have a document review and you have a facility inspection. So for the document review, we're going to look at sanitation records. We're going to look at the food defense plan. We're going to look at the food safety plan. Senior management commitment. That's extremely important for your facility. That's under 2.1. We definitely want to make sure that senior management is committed to food safety and has a strong food safety policy in place. And so just a little history of SQF. So SQF started in 1994 in Australia. It is an Australian scheme. And then in 2000, in a survey, FMI members identified food safety as the #1 issue. They realized, hey, we're getting a lot of foodborne illnesses. We're getting people who are getting hospitalized, people who are dying from foodborne incidents. So definitely, that's the #1 reason why FMI bought the SQF program in 2003. And then it was first benchmarked by GFSI. GFSI is the Global Food Safety Initiative, where there's a bunch of schemes under GFSI. You have SQF, you have BRC, you have FSSC 22000, ISO 22000, IFS, and the list goes on and on. But the main ones are SQF here in the United States. And in 2004, it was benchmarked. And then we've had quite a few additions since 2021, and now we have edition 9 that's been released. And then towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, we will have edition 10 coming out. So the number of registrants by country. So right now, 75% of the country, United States, we use SQF. It's a very popular scheme in the United States. There's a lot of resources here in the United States for SQF. We have an office in Virginia. We have good trainers that are involved with SQF. I've took a lot of trainings through the SQF program. I took one in Chicago for the lead auditor course. They're very responsive, and I've learned a lot here in the United States with the SQF program. Canada, Australia, 10%, Mexico, Japan, 5%, Korea, Peru, Taiwan, New Zealand, about 2%, China, 2%, and then in other countries, about 1%. So again, the most popular scheme in the United States is SQF. So the solution, what is the solution to SQF? We have a proactive approach to reduce and eliminate risk. Auditors and CBs meet strong, robust requirements. So as auditors and CBs, we have to meet strong requirements as well. And we get audited as well. As auditors, we get witnessed every 2 years by a lead auditor to make sure we're meeting those requirements for SQF. The benefits developed under the trust of the SQF brand. Your certificate is issued at the site and posted on the SQF website. And then also there's customized trainings, like I talked about earlier, and implementation tools available to assist in maintaining and sustaining a strong food safety management system. So 2 success stories that I have here. We had a facility that repackages candies and nuts right here in San Antonio. They were trying to get into big retailers here in San Antonio and all over the United States. They started out very, very small, and they didn't know anything about SQF. So they contacted a certification body to get a pre-assessment done on their facility. And that pre-assessment helped identify so many gaps in their SQF system that they took it very seriously and worked really hard to implement and write those SQF food safety management systems based off of the SQF code. Now they're mass producing for big retailers all over the country. Their business was only about 5-10% production. Now their business is up by 90%. And they have I believe they have a day shift and a night shift now. And they're a higher rate than expected within 1 year being SQF. And they also feel more accountable. The owner, he's more accountable now. He feels like his employees take food safety seriously, and he doesn't want a recall. He doesn't want people to get sick. And so by maintaining a strong food safety culture within the facility, and his customers trust him as well, he's able to have 90% more business than he was before. And we have another success story, a packaging company. They also contacted a CB to get some help as far as a gap assessment or a pre-assessment. They've been in production for over 20 years, and they aided the company in preparing for the SQF audit, the CB did. They made changes to their environmental monitoring program, their food safety plans, their sanitation program, environmental monitoring, just a lot of food safety management systems that they were missing or they didn't have laid out properly. They were able to get that help through that pre-assessment through the certification body. The facility successfully passed their SQF audit at a very high rating, and now their improvements help the company reduce customer returns or complaints, inventory turns, scrap, and rework by a whopping 75% just by being SQF certified. It increased production capacity by 50%. They were able to get new jobs and led to winning 95% in new business with the retailers because they trust them with their product because they have strong food safety management systems in place. And this is from the owner. This has opened doors, and I believe it will help to shorten our sales cycle. We did not achieve every goal we aimed for a year ago, but we are well on our way to meeting and exceeding our goals in the very near future. And this is all because they took food safety seriously. So a food safety management system, what is it? So we have our active managerial controls, we have our food safety management systems, food safety culture, and our organizational culture. And I'm going to focus here on the food safety culture. Here, the FDA GFSI says it is a shared value, beliefs, and norms that affect the mindset and behaviors towards food safety and across and throughout the organization. So food safety culture. As an auditor myself, I focus on the employees and I focus on the senior management. Is senior management implementing their food safety policies? Do the employees know their food safety policies? When I go and interview the employees, I'm going to ask them, what does your food safety policy say? Why is it important? What is the culture of the facility? Do you feel empowered? If you see allergen cross-contamination issues in the warehouse or even in the production, are you going to tell your employee? If the metal detector is not rejecting any metal pieces that could be on the product, do you feel empowered to stop the line and then tell your manager? So again, a strong food safety culture is definitely going to prevent anything from being introduced into your facility. Food safety management systems, you have a specific set of actions. You have your procedures, your policies, training and monitoring to help achieve managerial control. You have your active managerial controls, the purposeful incorporation of specific actions or procedures by industry management into the operation of their business to attain control over the foodborne illness risk factors. And then organizational culture. How is the culture of your facility? Do you feel appreciated as an employee? Do you feel comfortable talking to your managers about any issues? Do you feel like they appreciate you? Do you feel happy coming to work? So what is the culture of your facility as far as organizational culture? And all these things make up a strong food safety management system. And again, I focused a lot on food safety culture because that's where the empowerment comes with the employees. They're the one handling the food product. They're the one dealing with the product. And they're the ones seeing a lot going on the floor. So plan, do, check, act cycle, the PTCA cycle. So definitely want to make sure you're planning, you're doing, you're checking, and you're acting. And then I'm going to go more into detail here on the next slide. So planning and control. So what is the context of the organization? What does your organization do? Who's the leadership folks? Do you have an organizational chart? Do you have a director involved? Do you have a manager? Do you have the QA techs involved? Who's doing the planning of the food safety management systems? Where are you getting your support from? External support or internal support? The operation, the performance evaluations and improvement. So your PRPs, what make up your food safety plan? Do you have a sanitation program, environmental monitoring program? Do you have a food defense food fraud program? Your traceability system. Are you able to trace forward and backward? Where did your product come from? Where did it end up at? So if you had a recall, you want to make sure you're able to trace that product within 2 to 4 hours, depending on your customer requirements. Emergency preparedness and response. If you had a tornado or a fire or electrical issue, what happened to the food product? Did you document that? Did you throw it away? Was it on hold? So definitely want to make sure you do a test of your crisis management program every year. And then your food safety plan, your hazard analysis. Are you identifying your biological, chemical, and physical hazards in the facility? Are you validating those control measures? Do you have a strong hazard control plan that identify those 3 hazards? And do you have an PRP plan? Like, do you have a verification schedule in place? Who's verifying that the CCP monitoring was done every week? Implementation of the food safety plan, control and monitoring and measuring, verification activities, analysis of results and verification activities. And then are we acting upon it? So these are all the things that make up your organizational planning and control. Plan, do, check, and act. And then you want to do it all over again to improve your system. And as auditors, what do we look for? Again, 2.1 of the code, management responsibility and accountability. What is senior management doing to implement a strong food safety culture? As an auditor myself, I always interview the top folks. I want to know what they know about food safety. What are the CCPs in this facility? When did you have your last food safety training? Was it done in all languages on site? Was it only done in English? What do we have multiple languages? I've come across that many times where I go to a facility and there's different languages spoken and it's only done in English. And a lot of the employees, they don't know English. So that, again, that comes back to management responsibility. Food safety fact decisions rather than business decisions. I've heard a lot of scenarios where folks, they'll see gloves inside their hamburger meat at a production facility because they chose to do the business decision instead of thinking of food safety. If you're having gloves in your product and you say, let's keep running the line, you're going to cause a bigger issue later on, and your customer is not going to trust you to produce their product. Employee engagement and knowledge, again, goes back to food safety culture. Are the employee engaged? Do they know about food safety? Their actions. What are they doing to prevent anything from happening to the facility? Empowerment, evidence of continuous improvement. So the benefits of a food safety management system: risk reduction. The owners, the CEOs, they trust their employees based off of the SQF system. And again, it goes back to food safety culture. They feel trust with their employees. They feel like they're going to prevent anything happening to their facility so they can sleep at night. They have trust. Efficient and effective action to food safety incidents. If there's an incident, are we being proactive about it? Engage workforce, trust with customers and consumers, and meet and exceed regulatory and legal requirements. And again, what can you do to improve your audit performance? Internal audits are really key to improving your audit performance from your third-party certification audit. You want to identify any gaps in your system. I recommend a lot of folks to do quarterly audits of their internal system to make sure there's no gaps. Again, are they following GMPs? Do they have a strong training program in place? Do the employees feel empowered? Are we meeting all the elements of Module 2 and Module 11? You want to get management support. You want to make sure your manager is supporting you in doing this. And identify the needs, develop the process. Are we implementing the program that we say we're doing? Are we controlling the processes that we have in place to prevent any food safety hazards going into our product? Are we following up on nonconformances? Are we implementing a root cause? Are we verifying and building continuous improvement? And we have to repeat this all over again. It's not a perfect world, so we always have to continually improve in our systems. And then the advantages of transferring to us as an SQF program. Again, we're globally recognized for rigorous testing and certification. Outside of food, we do aerospace, we do automotive, cybersecurity, environmental health and safety. We have very competitive prices. Through my experience, I noticed we do have competitive prices compared to other certification bodies I've worked with. Value-added audits, continuous program investments, and personal and efficiency improvements. We have a very strong, robust food safety training program. And then we also have highly qualified and industry experienced SQF lead auditors. And we have a very responsive customer service team. One second, I'm going to get a drink of water. So again, if you want more information about us, you can use your phone for the QR code, and it'll take you right to the link to put in your information about the facility, and then you'll get an account executive to contact you right away. And then the trainings we offer, we just hired a food safety trainer. He's going to be implementing some HACCP trainings for us and PCQI training as well. We also have implementing SQF systems for the quality code and the food safety code. And we also have an internal audit program for another scheme under FSSC 22000. So again, here's the QR code for our trainings that we offer. And this spring, we will have a lot more trainings to offer for SQF and general food safety. And thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. I am excited that we had folks join our webinar today. And Susan Lane will go with Q&A.
All right, thanks, Candice. Great job today. So as a reminder, to submit your questions, there's a Q&A tab, little question mark underneath the video, so you can submit your questions there. But Candice, we have had questions come in so far from our audience. So let me start with which types of companies can get SQF certification?
Any food manufacturer, whether it's packaging, bakeries, dairies, small and large, can get SQF certified. I've audited facilities that were 1 million square feet and also facilities that were 5,000 square feet. So anybody who does any type of food manufacturing can get SQF certified.
Okay, great. So any industry and all different size businesses, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Candice. Here's another question. How to take your SQF certification after audit?
You broke up there for a second.
Okay, how quickly you get your SQF certification after the audit is conducted?
You can get it. So you have 30 days to do your corrective action plan. The last day of the audit, you have 30 days. So the quicker you do your corrective action plan, the quicker you'll get your certification. So once you do your corrective action plan within that 30 days, then it has to go through technical review, and we give up to 10 days to get that done. And then once that's done and approved and everything's good to go, then you'll get your certificate. So it's pretty much a 45-day window. 30 days to do your corrective action plan, 10 days to do your technical review, and then another few days to do your to issue your certificate.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Candice. Here's another question that has come in. What are some common challenges of obtaining SQF certification?
Some challenges, I've seen this before, and as an auditor, the challenges are they're not meeting the requirements. There's a lot of gaps in their systems, and when that happens, if they get below a 70, they won't be able to attain their SQF certification. So definitely want to make sure, again, internal audits are in place, that you know your gaps before the real audit.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Candice. Another question that has come in, can SQF certification help enhance international trade?
Oh yeah, most definitely. SQF is a globally recognized scheme, so it does definitely help international trade. And a lot of our folks in Europe and Latin America are very big on making sure they have some type of GFSI certification. So yes, it definitely will help international trade.
Okay, I mean, if they're certified, they're credible, more credible, right?
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
that's great. Okay. As a reminder too, on the bottom left, over on the left-hand side, under the video, there's the Q&A tab. So please don't hesitate to submit your questions. And Candice, we have another question. What are the main benefits of SQF certification?
The main benefits is you have strong food safety management systems in place. You're at lower risk of preventing foodborne illnesses into your facility. Your business will grow. I've seen it firsthand with food manufacturers, and you'll be globally recognized as a SQF certification site. So there's quite a few benefits for being SQF, especially number one, preventing any hazards being introduced into your facility.
Excellent. And it helps the business increase revenue and market share.
Oh yeah, big time. Like I said, I've seen it with multiple people, and they're doing very well now, being SQF.
Excellent. Okay, I don't see any other questions on our Q&A tab. So I think even we could wrap it up a little bit early. And don't forget, so thank you, Candice, for joining today, and thank you to everyone for joining our session today. And as a reminder, the recording will be available soon after the event if you or your colleagues missed any portion of today's session. And please don't forget to stay on for a few minutes to complete our short survey. We're looking forward to your feedback. And please visit our website, www.tuvsud.com, to learn more about safe quality food certification. Okay, so we'll go to the short survey. Was today's webinar content on safe quality food, the importance of certification, and how to achieve it relevant and helpful to your job? Yes or no? We can just check off one of those radio buttons. The next question, overall, how would you rate today's webinar? From very dissatisfied, dissatisfied, neutral, satisfied, or very satisfied? Please make your selection. Would you like to have a meeting with TÜV SÜD to further discuss safe quality food certification? Yes or no? And are you interested in receiving a quote for safe quality food certification? Yes or no? Please select the radio button. And are you interested in attending Safe Quality Food Certification Academy training? Yes or no? Okay. Well, thanks again for everyone for joining. Thanks, Candice. Great job today. And we'll
Thank
share the
you.
recording very soon. Thanks for joining.